Okay, we're back with the third eye of Providence, and this is another episode of the series that I'm doing of connecting with spiritual community. And today's episode, I have Karla. She's my guest. We met organically through spiritual circles, doing feminine full moon rituals, and she was one of the first Reiki practitioners I ever met that actually did it full time for like a living. So she really inspired me, and we connected over being a Pisces. And since it's Pisces season, we're in when we're recording this, it's the Pisces new moon and the sun is in Pisces. So I figured, why not have Karla on the show and talk about all these flowy energies that we're experiencing as Pisces.
Yes.
Give them some background about your journey so far.
Yeah, so like you said, I do Reiki. I started Reiki in 2010, which was kind of like my awakening to all things spiritual, all things crystals and energy work. And then I've been doing it forever since then. And then I also had other jobs though during that time, so I kind of couldn't focus. And then once I did fully leave, my 3D matrix job, working at a children's psych hospital, I was able to fully immerse myself. And then was it 2018, I had like another awakening that happened, where I received what I can only describe as like a download from, let's say, the sun. I just asked, what's my path? And then I was given all these visions, and I was given my guides' names and everything. And so I am now a shamanic healer, Reiki master, a spiritual guide and coach. And right now I'm focusing more on, the inner child healing, because I just noticed that, everything kind of boils down to the inner child. So that's what I offer right now. I'm a mom and I am a Pisces. True and true. I'm a double Pisces, sun and moon. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're on here. You're like another
Yes.
person that I consider a spiritual alchemist type person who incorporates many different things that resonate with you, and you're not strictly a one practice focused person, which is really good. To me, those are the people I'm really connecting with a lot. And I try to stay away from the people who are super dogmatized, super like into one particular study, and they only trust that. I like the people who remix it for sure.
Yeah, I love the remix. Yeah, because I feel like we are so multifaceted. We are multidimensional. Why box ourselves in, and that's what happened to me. I did Reiki for so long and I really mastered it. And then I came to a point where I still love Reiki and it still changed my life. But I'm like, there is more that I am doing and that I can offer.
There's more to you.
I agree.
Like your, your ancestral work, and like you said, the inner child stuff, that's not encompassed by just doing Reiki. Like it's you have to expand.
Exactly.
For sure. It's funny because this is the thing with Pisces, right? Is we are very expansive people. It's something about being tuned into that, like Neptunian and the Christ consciousness stuff, and that it does force you to want to like break out of the boundaries and just go as far as the water will flow.
Yes. It's like where can I find newness and adventure and be wild and free,
You shared something on your page the other day. I always find these things so synchronistic, where it was like it was a meme, and it was a fish in a bowl and it said religion, and then it was a fish in the ocean and it said spirituality, and then it was a fish flying out of the ocean and it said ayahuasca.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes. Didn't that just speak to your soul? I was like, yes. Thank you, universe.
The flying fish, I really resonate with that a lot. Yeah. And I've seen them myself when I went to Mexico, and they're beautiful. They're just amazing.
Oh, wow. Yeah. No, I bet. Wow. Yeah. I just feel like, especially right now, Can we talk about the sun?
Of course, yes.
Can we just talk about the sun right now?
I had a
So the
synchronistic
sun
moment
right now is
today
just,
with the
tell
sun.
me.
No,
Yeah, no, go ahead, tell
it
me.
was with what you shared about there was a solar flare like an hour ago, and you had
Mm-hmm.
posted it that it was off the charts because the NASA tracking system's been glitchy. And I was
Mm-hmm.
so freaked out by the fact that you had shared that, because I was literally outside walking around with another friend who's a Pisces, and I was trying to explain to them how the sun is why
Yeah.
it's so windy. Like I was trying to
Mm-hmm.
explain like the solar flare affects like the winds on this planet because we're being bombarded by that electric energy from the sun. And I should have known
Yeah.
that it was flaring at that time. And then I go and look at your page and you shared this thing, and I was like, yep, there it is.
Yeah, so I literally was like trying so hard to be awake. I was like, "Oh my God, I don't know if I can stay up this late." And then I'm like, "Wait, it's not even that late." And then I was like, "Should I eat?" Like I thought I had low sugar. I'm like, I literally went and took like the deepest 5-minute nap. Like I thought I had been sleeping for like 20 minutes. And I was like, "Oh my God." And then my boyfriend's like, "Are you all right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Wow, we just fell asleep." And I'm like, "That's crazy." My sister, that's been happening to as well. Just like falling asleep out of nowhere because the energies are just, I feel like we're getting so many downloads and upgrades that literally we're like, we need to stop and integrate. Yeah.
Exactly. And so many
Hmm.
people are not even like at a point where they can just honor themselves, and like a lot of them, like you said, are still trapped in this matrix, and they have to be at work, and they
Yeah.
can't like give themselves the opportunity to take that minute of rest. Like it's crazy. I've been struggling in between
Yeah.
that myself, but I've been able to lie down when I need to, and it's been rough, but
Good.
I've been dealing with it. Yoga too, I've been noticing like doing savasana, even just like 5 minutes of that
Hmm.
is incredible. Like I feel
Yeah.
rejuvenated. Like I should not be that rejuvenated off of 5 minutes of laying down with my eyes closed.
Yeah. No, it's like so necessary. And I feel like that's exactly the energy it's like right now I'm getting it. Like we're just obviously antennas, but I see like our antennas kind of like sparking out, like
Mm,
we're being bombarded with energy from the sun, but we're also emanating all this light, and
mhm.
it's coming in again. Like I've just been getting all these visuals of like showering the whole entire earth with like almost like it looks like a mushroom cloud, but like of light, of love. And it's just like, I don't know. I'm rambling, but
No, I can
I just
feel
keep
it.
getting it. It's coming through right now.
No, it,
Yeah.
it makes sense to me because I've been telling people like I've been struggling with periods of feeling like I can't sleep. Like there's one day where like I cannot
Yes.
sleep, and then the next day I'll be tired, and I know it's because I couldn't sleep, but even the day after that I'll still be exhausted inexplicably. It's
Hmm.
wild. And like yeah, like you were saying, I've been getting woken up like different hours of the day, like 3 in the morning. I wake up every
Hmm.
morning at like 4:44 so I can do my mantras. And a lot of times I have to go back to sleep after I do
Nice.
them because I'm still so tired.
Yeah, I mean that's early too. Wow. Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like that time too. I've been getting woken up at like, well, last night it was 3:33 on the dot, and then I could not sleep. Like I had
Yeah.
to wait till like 9 for my daughter to sleep.
Hmm.
And it's also been like the craziest vivid dreams. I haven't had dreams in like 8 years. and, uh,
Wow.
and I used to be worried because I was like such an, Pisces, like we're such vivid dreamers.
Yeah.
And then for me not to have dreams for so long, I was like, is something wrong with me? But like, I don't know, maybe I was just going through a time of change. And now it's like so vivid all over again. Like I noticed I woke up and I was like doing my dream, whatever I was doing in my dream. And I'm like, wow, that happened to me in so long.
That's funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's something to
So,
that. Whenever I've heard people talk about not dreaming, usually it's because they're processing something in the subconscious. So it's almost like
mhm.
when your computer, right? If you're trying to like download something, everything else in the computer is running slow because it's downloading
Yeah.
something. And sometimes
Yeah,
when people aren't dreaming, it's literally just because they're being healed in their sleep, and it would be too much for them to dream and be healed at the same time.
that makes
Um,
sense. Yeah. Yeah, it was during like a rough time in my marriage from before, so
mhm.
that makes sense that I was healing a lot during it.
My dreams have
But
been weird
also,
too. Like I
yeah.
even like I said, I go back to sleep like after I do my mantra, so I'll be like asleep for like 2 hours or whatever, and I'll have a dream that seems like a whole long episodic movie type thing, and I'll wake up, it's only been
Yeah.
2 hours. I'm like, really? It feels like I was in that dream for like 3 years.
Yeah. That's how my dreams feel. I wake up and I'm like exhausted. I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I worked out, you know. But definitely traveling dreams. Yeah, I feel
Yep.
like I haven't had flying dreams yet. I always know when I have a flying dream, like something like
Mhm.
super, you know, huge is gonna happen, but not yet.
I
Not
had
yet.
the couple of nights that I've been having dreams, the last there was like two in a row that were about me being at work, and one of them, this was the craziest experience I've ever had, and this is so typical of Pisces. I'm like, let's share what happened in our dreams. Most people don't even
Mm-hmm.
remember their dreams at all. They're like, what?
Yeah.
I just had a dream, can't remember it 3 days later. But no,
Yeah.
this dream was so weird to me because I was you're gonna get freaked out by this. So I was having this dream where I was going to the mall, which is where I have a part-time job, my fashionista
Mm-hmm.
side gig. And
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was going to the mall with this guy, and we were going to the movies together, and he had bought the tickets. And he wanted to stop in a store and buy some stuff. So then I stopped in the store that I work at, and I asked the ladies to hold the bags at the store so we didn't have to bring them into the movie with us and everything. I could come back and grab them later. And in that meantime, he had gone to the movie. He kept going without me. And I got so sidetracked by the girls at work that I like kind of lost track of time, typical me. And then next thing I know, this is what made me feel violated is I took my phone out. And whenever I have my phone in a dream, it really bothers me. Like I'm consciously aware that the phone doesn't belong in my dream. Like it shouldn't be part of this
Yeah.
world. So that really bothered me. And then in the phone, there was like a flood of text messages from this guy. And I didn't even read them, which is typical me. I just picked up the phone and called him. This must be like a millennial thing where I'm like, I'm not going to read your text. I'm just going to call you. And
Yeah.
he was in the movie theater already, and he answered the phone because he was like apologizing to the other people in the movie. And I was just like, oh, where are you? He's like, I'm in the movie. Do you want to just meet me later on the ship? I was like, what the
That's
fuck?
crazy.
It was so,
So you're
and
just having like,
I had a moment where I was just like, what? Meet him on the ship? I was like so frustrated, but also like worried. And I just woke up
oh
just
my
like that. I just woke up from
God,
the dream. It was so spooky. And then the other dream I had was about work too.
that's crazy.
I was at work and I was so tired. It was we were at there
Hmm.
at night, like doing inventory, and I was in the back room. I fell asleep while I was at work. And everybody was like making fun of me because I fell asleep at work. And that's the first time I ever fell asleep inside a dream. That was weird to me.
Oh wow, that's
And
interesting.
you know
I've
what
I've had
woke
those
me
dreams
up?
where like I fall asleep and I wake up.
Well, what woke me up is I had to pee in the dream.
Yeah.
In the dream,
Yeah.
I woke up and I had to pee, and I was still at work, so I like went to the bathroom in the back room at my work, and it wasn't until I was like on the toilet in my dream going pee that I was like, oh, I need to wake up because I wanted to make sure I wasn't like peeing in
Yeah.
real life. So it woke me up, and I did have to go, and I think that's like it was like my it was so weird. But yeah,
They say that though. They
I didn't
say
like
that when
having a
you,
dream about work. That
yeah.
pisses me off.
Well, you know what's very interesting, and I don't know if this is a myth, and I want to look it up because I remember it was either in a movie or a documentary, which would be important to know to see if it's real. But they said that the way you would know if you're in a dream is that you can't read in dreams.
Oh, I know what you're
But I
talking
don't
about.
know
I
how
think
real
I've
that
seen that
is,
too.
right? like there's because I know that in my dreams I usually like I want to write and I can't like hold whatever I'm trying to
Mhm.
write with, or like I'll try to read and it'll just be super blurry. So
Oh,
the fact that you said you like there were texts and you
and I
saw them,
couldn't
I was
read
like,
them. I
hmm,
just like called them. I was like, I can't read these.
yeah. Oh, okay, that's true. That's true. I
No,
was like, did you read the text?
no, I couldn't read them, but I could tell there was like a lot of them. But I just like was like,
Yeah.
there's too much to read. I just have to call.
Scrolling, yeah. Oh,
That's
okay,
so
okay.
funny. I can't, okay,
That is
I'm
funny.
thinking it's either two things. It's either that movie Inception, right? I think it might be from
Mm,
that, which would be fucked up because that's what I'm telling you about this other dream where I was like asleep in the dream. Or it was from that
yeah.
movie Waking Life. I think it might have been
Oh,
that
I don't
one.
know that one.
Oh, that's a weird movie. You would like it.
What was
It's
what was
called
that other one though? Go ahead.
no, it's called Waking Life because it's about lucid dreaming.
Oh, okay. Oh, that makes sense. Is it on Netflix?
Maybe it's kind of older. It's funny because I used to work
Okay.
at Blockbuster, typical Pisces, and it that's where I found it first. Like it was on video there, so it was probably the early
Oh,
2000s it came out.
didn't you love going there though? Like I used to love going and being like, what can we pick now? Then
Working
after a
there
while, it
was
started to get old.
crazy. Oh yeah, we get free
It must have
rentals
been.
when you work there, so it just
Oh, nice.
I've seen tons of shit.
You're like a movie critic now. It's funny.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, but
I do tell people all the time, Pisces, Neptune, and energy is we're in the realm of the cinema, the arts, creative writing, the
oh,
dreams,
that's true.
all of these things.
The muse, the energy of the muse.
Hmm.
Um, Speaking of that, I was gonna say, well, kind of along the same lines. Have you, so you said you've been channeling a lot too?
Yeah, it's
Because
funny.
I've literally like randomly been channeling. Like usually I have to like, I set my space or like I'm doing something intentional or something like that. And now it's just like I'm washing the dishes. Oh, I'm channeling. I'm taking a
Yes,
shower, I'm channeling. I'm drinking water and it's always with water too.
that makes
Yeah.
sense. I never
Hmm.
realize when I'm doing it until after, and then I'm like, oh, yeah, like this is like profound spiritual information I just shared with somebody, like
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
even
I
today
don't
I was
know.
doing that. Like I told you, when I was out experiencing the sun, even though it was cold today, I've
Hmm.
been in the sun the past 3 days, and I feel like I've definitely been
Hmm.
getting, like, intentionally or not, it's just something's compelling me to go out into the sun, and I've been
Yeah.
having a lot of synchronistic numbers always. And
Hmm.
the biggest thing right now that I feel, and I think I'm seeing in a lot of people, is this compulsion to want to share it, whatever it is that you're becoming aware of. Like, and everyone's doing their own
Hmm.
different thing. This is the spice of
Yeah.
life. We all have a little flavor to add to the stew. um, and
Yeah.
everybody wants to share, and this is how I know this is connected to the equinox. As we get closer to the equinox, this is Christ consciousness. This is the collectiveness of Pisces,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
it's getting stronger and stronger every day, for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now that you said about the Christ consciousness, I think I don't know if you saw I made a live video. It was like 2 in the morning. I forget what day it was. And yeah, I totally had a whole experience of Jesus like coming to me as an ascended master. And I've never had something so vivid like that. Well, I'm not gonna say never, but I haven't had something that vivid happen in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just so like right in front of my face and I just saw like his hand, but it was like everything was very like fuzzy but still like right there, so it's not
Mm-hmm.
like I could have been like, was that what I saw? Like that is what I saw. And he just did this and he just went like that, like right across my face, like that slow. And he was like, love is the way. And I was like like blown away with love, and like literally felt like my heart was just like flowering and flowering, just radiating.
Mm-hmm.
So and it's funny because I didn't even put two and two together. I'm like, oh, duh, we're like in Pisces mode, Pisces energy. And then I think we're in a stellium too tonight. I think it's, what is it? Do you know? I don't really know.
It's Venus and Neptune are conjunct with
Yeah. What is it?
something. I'm not sure what else it is, but I know the
Yeah.
Venus and Neptune energy are together. And then
Yeah.
also saw that starting today is the first time for 6 weeks there are no retrograde energies. So
Oh.
in a clearing.
Also, we're going to be heading forward very quickly into
Daylight
Aries.
savings. What's crazy is,
oh, that's right. Yes,
this
tomorrow.
is like, so I think it's synchronistic, but obviously underneath the thread of all things, there's something with these energies being connected, where Mahashivarati and the story of Shiva awakening from the great sleep, right, at this time. And this is, he's known as the ultimate dreamer, right? It's no coincidence that he wakes before the equinox, and that also the equinox happens to be like the same week of daylight savings time, where we lose an hour. They like, spring the clock ahead. So it's sort of interesting to me that we lose an hour of sleep the same week that Shiva has his great awakening, and then we go into Christ consciousness energy of the equinox. And for people who don't understand what I'm talking about, the equinox makes a cross. This is what symbolically, this is why we tie the equinox to Christ. It's on the cross. Like there's something in the imaginal, in the story of Jesus being crucified on the cross, that is connected very intrinsically with the equinox. I can't explain it for you. You have to do your own researches. But people who know what I'm talking about.
I had not heard that piece.
Had to do a disclaimer there.
Yeah.
I
didn't know that piece of it, but that's very interesting, actually.
On my Instagram, I'll share the alignments of the equinox, and people will see the cross connection and make that thing for themselves. And like I said, this Christ consciousness, it's also tied into the rays. So if you are somebody who believes in the 7 rays, and you pay attention to those patterns, Pisces energy is connected to, I want to say it's the 6th ray. It's the blue ray, and that this is something that is intrinsically tied to Christ consciousness, that because Pisces, I don't know, it's something to do with Venus. And I learned a lot of this stuff when I first had my awakening, and I've like blended in so many other things since then. Some of it becomes a little blurry, but there's something to do with the 7 rays and the Pisces energy, that at this time it's like we're stronger connected to that spectrum of light, if that makes sense.
Yes. So I didn't know that about the Blu-ray. I've, I used to like research a ton, but now I don't have time to like sit with my baby. So I've like fallen off on that. But I do have the 13 Keys to Christ Consciousness or something, that book. So I have to like continue to read that. But it's interesting you're saying about the blue, because I've been having so much of that coming in for a while now. But obviously I've also been working a lot with Shiva, Lord Shiva and Kali Ma. So I know that it's coming from that too. But now you like piqued my, wait, what's that? Where I even had a session, I'm probably not going to be able to do sessions again for a while, but it was just like a favor for my sister's friend who was having a hard time, and it was so powerful. And the Blu-ray was like coming in so strongly. I kept, getting lapis, I kept getting Egypt, and like all like kind of converging into like the Blu-ray with the sun. And that just reminds me so much of Isis, goddess Isis of Egypt, because I just feel like, obviously she represents the moon. And to me, that's like, I don't know, I connect that with the color blue and the blue of night. And then, what is it? Osiris. I always get this wrong. I always mix up the two. Is it Osiris, her husband?
Isis and Osiris, yes.
Because Horus is the sun.
Yeah.
So I don't know, the blue, hold on, I feel like, am I able to channel? I
I
feel like
was
I'm
just
channeling
gonna
right
say
now.
too, the Blu-ray, like when we talk about Blu-ray, we're also talking about what Archangel Michael, we're talking about the
Yes.
blue energy in general. Like, I mean, some people might consider like tapping into the throat chakra. Like it's all
Yep.
connected, you know.
Yes. And also the ocean. So obviously Pisces is very connected to water, but I've been seeing so much about the ocean lately. Like I had a whole vision that I did a galactic meditation, and they were talking about, being in space and being suspended in space, but all I kept getting was that the ocean was in the sky, and then like the sky was on the ground. There was no actual earth. Like it was
Mm,
just like all like very etheric and very like dreamy. And
beautiful.
I got a 13 sign astrology reading with I'm gonna butcher the name of Ophiuchus. I think
Hmm.
it's the 13th sign. And apparently there's another constellation called Cetus, I think.
Hmm.
And it's called the Whale Song. So
Oh.
that's very interesting that we're stepping into this, or this constellation, I guess, is like stepping into our galaxy, if that makes sense. I don't know. The person did the reading for me. So I have to like really listen to it. But the whales have been coming up so strongly, and dolphins for me.
Oh yeah.
Um yeah, like I had a dream that a dolphin like gave me like a rose quartz from the bottom of the ocean, which was a significant dream I had when back in 2010 when I first got attuned to Reiki. So it's almost like a pivotal life change is like about to happen or something.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what is it? But yeah, the ocean stuff is, something's gonna happen with the ocean. I don't know if we're gonna come into like a period of earthquakes or something, that I keep getting like some sort of like oceanic event or
Mm,
water event that's gonna happen.
that's so
But
fun.
that's, I don't know. I don't know if
Well,
you've been getting anything in terms of
well,
that.
today I was by the ocean, and it was funny because
Mm,
like I was telling you when I was sensing that the wind was picking up and that it was connected to the solar flares,
yeah.
I was at the ocean. And I was like, okay, I
Wow.
know it's windy at the beach usually, but I was explaining to my friend who, you know, is open. They're a Pisces, but they're not quite like on the spiritual path. But I think that my um being in their life is kind of to initiate them to take the path a little bit more. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we're
Yeah.
literally walking a path by the ocean together, and I'm telling them all these things about Pisces stuff, and they're like, all of this resonates so deeply with me, how did you know this? And I'm like,
You're like, cause I
yeah,
I know
like
you.
you can know this too if you
Yeah.
take this initiation. And so I was
Yeah.
explaining to them that the wind was so intense by the water, and that
Mm-hmm.
this is why the waves are so calming to us,
Yeah.
because of the negative ions that come off of the water when it crashes. And it's
Hmm.
all connected to the radiation from the sun controls the winds on this planet. So that's why when the solar flares are like really intense, we get a lot of wind, because it's the
Mm-hmm.
geomagnetic shield of Mother Earth being bombarded by positive electronic magnetism. And so her natural like magneticness is hyper agitated, let's call it that. Like the winds
Mm-hmm.
pick up, and as the winds
Mm-hmm.
pick up, the water crashes more, because it's also the waves are being compelled by these
Wow.
magnetic forces as well. So I'm explaining all this to them, and then I was like, okay, so that's the scientific part. And this is how, you know, this is how I talk to masculine energy people, right? I'm always like, here's the nerdy science part of why the spiritual side
Yeah.
is like, here's why I know this, you know? And I'm telling them, like, it's so important that not only are you in the sun, but that the wind is clearing your aura, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so your aura is being released of any
Yeah.
stagnation You're being purified by the sun, but you're also being cleansed by the wind. And when you do it by the water, like with any cleansing ritual,
Yes.
when you do it by the water, you're also replacing yourself with positive energy. So it's not enough to just sit out in the sun and clear yourself.
Hmm.
You need the wind to take away, and then you need the water to put back in, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So I was telling them this, and I was
Wow. I feel like that was like a little meditation you just took me on. I was like, I love this. No, that was so relaxing. I love how you just explained all that.
yeah.
You
And
should like make a video on it.
we were being watched by crows the whole time, and I was like, oh, look at this.
Oh, it's so mystical.
It was, yeah.
I love crows. Crows are very smart. I found something out about crows actually, which they, because you know how they have a lot to do with like mysticism, and you always see like if a witch has like a crow on them.
Mhm.
Apparently they have the, what is it? The cognitive ability of a 7-year-old child.
That's really
Like,
important. The
isn't that
7-year-old
so
thing.
crazy? Yes, but also like how advanced they are because they have memory, they can remember, I guess, uh if there's a place where one of their own was like killed, they won't ever return to that place.
Ooh. Oh, that makes sense.
They mourn dead. Yeah, they could teach them to do like, get a tree and that. Yeah, they're so what is it called? Agile, but they're also like, I feel like they're like spirits between realms.
Yes.
There's something about them that's just very mystical.
That's probably why they
Hmm.
don't go back to where the crows died, is because they can feel the energy there,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah. I
And
guess they can remember people's faces too, which is crazy.
I'm not surprised. The other thing I was gonna
Is it
say,
choppy? Am I choppy?
yeah, it's both of us. We both keep freezing up, but I think it might just be me on my end.
Hmm.
Spirit is getting too riled up right now with
It's okay.
everything we're talking about. Hold on, let's give it a little breather to restabilize.
As you started talking about the sun, it started to glitch.
You know, okay. I'm like, let's slow it down for a second. I
Let's
think
send
I think
energy.
we're back. um, what
Yeah,
I was
it
gonna
sounds
show
like you're
you
back.
was that the crow tarot that I have. And we're frozen again.
Oh my God, that's so funny. I'm like all talking about it like you don't know.
Oh, you no,
Yeah.
but you did tell me something I didn't know about the crows.
What's happening, guys?
I know the 7-year 7-year-old cognitive ability thing. I was just like, oh my gosh, that's so important, because in Kabbalistic practices, they, and in, I think in like the Hebrew tradition, they said, if you show me a man before the age of 7, or you show me a boy before the age of 7, I'll show you the man. And it's because, like, as you already know with the inner child work, everything that you're
Oh,
going through before the age
yeah.
of 7, you're just a sponge. You're like absorbing everything.
Mhm.
So it's deep with the inner child work stuff, like that 7-year-old thing. It's
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and this makes sense to me. I'm like doing the math in my head. It's like 7, 14, 21, 28 years old, right? um
Mm.
every 7-year cycle, like your consciousness has a quantum leap, basically.
Yeah, that's true.
What's the
Like,
other
how old am I? I'm
thing?
trying to do math.
Well, they say your Saturn return is when you're 27, either 27 or 28, but around then. And
Oh, I'm way
after,
past that.
well, after you have your Saturn return, and then you have, hold on, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. Okay. So when you're 33 is
Yeah.
like the age of Jesus, right? So that's when you're supposed to come into
Mm-hmm.
your rising sign, your Christ consciousness at that time. And it's because after you meet with your Lord of Karma, your maker, at the age of 28, you have 5 years until you get into your Christ consciousness energy.
Hmm.
I mean, it's
It's crazy.
give or take. Everybody's on their own path of development. Some of us are
No, I
slower.
think that yeah, mine was 33. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
because last year I had my baby, so I was 34. So I got pregnant when I was 33.
Hmm.
I did everything the same year. I finally got my divorce got finalized. I met my partner. Oh no, wait, maybe it happened that happened a year before then.
Hmm.
But anyway, yeah, I became pregnant. So that was huge, obviously.
Yes. I love it. Yeah,
Yeah.
really
Wow. I feel
embodying
like I
your.
just learned so much.
Oh no. I hope I mean I always learn so much too from you whenever you share things, and obviously this is co-creation. Like
Oh,
I wouldn't be sharing these things unless it was something that you were talking about. um
yeah, no, I love it.
but I think we are almost at the end of our circular Pisces conversation here. People are, unless you're a Pisces, you're going to be like, what did they even talk about in this episode?
All
And
things Pisces in a very Pisces way.
yeah, if you think it's hard having a conversation with a Pisces, imagine having an argument with a Pisces. Because it's like,
Or being in your head as a Pisces. Oh, forget it. Being in an argument with a Pisces, you just gotta go sit down. Just
like exhaustion immediately, like
yeah.
just the way we
Oh.
circle back to things. It's like, well, we were talking about this, but now we're talking about this, and I'm gonna bring it back to that
But
original
then there's
thing.
this these three tangents. Yeah. Like three
Oh yeah.
tangents I forgot to mention. But then there were those two tangents that I went off way too far. it's just we are water, right?
Oh yeah. I was feeling this. I think it was it was like around middle of February. There was like Gemini was in Mars, okay, and or it was like Mars and Gemini or some crap. And my
Mm-hmm.
Mars placement is in Gemini. So like I have Mars and Mercury energy together means like when I fight, like I'm in an argument with somebody, like it's exhausting. Like I will go to war when you get me to the point of an argument. And I don't relent.
Yep.
And so in February there was like a lot of conflict for me in my conversations with people, and I took the opportunity to like
Yep.
resist battling. Like I was like choosing my battles very carefully, and it forced me to look deep within and do like a lot of shadow work.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why am I mad at these people? Like,
Same.
why am I having these expectations? Like, what is this conflict energy about? It was rough. And I was having like,
My God, I feel like you're like speaking to my soul.
I know
Yeah.
I was having like really bad face breakouts. Like my skin was even like really having bad reactions and everything. And it was, I never had anything like that, but
Mm-hmm.
I trusted that this was like a sign of the healing that I was doing within. And it was like my body manifesting it to let me know that I was like releasing stuff
Yeah.
under the surface. This is what it means, right? When you have skin problems, there's a lot underneath the surface.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get that too. I mean, mine was more just like what you said, like having the conversations I was having. I like I literally was like in a different dimension. I'm like trying to talk to them and they're like somewhere over there. And like I don't know why we're not communicating. I don't know. And I did have to do a lot of shadow work as well
Mhm.
about why am I so mad? I'm so mad, you know? And it's like a whole rebirth when you have to like look at your anger, because anger is such
Oh
an
yeah.
easy fix for a lot of different things, a lot of emotions, because it's like, you know, it feels nicer to feel powerful and angry than to feel sad and angry, you know what I mean? Or like, I
Mhm.
don't know. So I did a lot of that as well. And I
Yeah.
feel like, and what do I have? I have Mars in Aries. And I think I do have my Mercury in Aries as well. So I'm like, "Bah," it
Floating.
needs to be said now.
Yeah.
So it's like simmer down. Not everybody's gonna take what you have to say, the way you mean it.
Hmm. Oh
So
yeah.
there's a lot of learning that came with that.
Oh yeah.
Yep. I
It's
feel
just,
like collectively it's happened too.
I know, and it's so funny because like the next level of this stuff when you are addressing like your anger and everything is recognizing like why you think it is helpful to share those things with others, like um like how it comes from ego, right? It's like, is this helpful or does this
Mm-hmm.
harm? Like, am
Yeah.
I angry and I'm trying to prove something to myself because that's ego?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
like, am I angry and is my anger righteous, and like there needs to be justice in this situation? And that's
Mm-hmm.
a very hard thing because it requires discernment, and a lot of us
Yeah.
have been manipulated and abused by like narcissistic people and stuff, and we don't have discernment because we've been gaslit so much.
Mm-hmm.
We can't
Oh my
trust.
God, I just had this conversation with somebody too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, the person that came to see me, we were talking all about that.
Yeah,
Where
it's
you
because
just like
the
forget.
deep.
You're like, am I right or am I wrong? I have no idea who I am, you know?
And it's all connected to, like you were saying, this inner child work, and that's actually what really got me into spiritual, just even spirituality, was the psychology
Mm-hmm.
behind why people, especially myself, like I have a complex childhood, so I have CPTSD like most people,
Mm-hmm.
just not labeled officially by going to therapy, but most people do have it. And
Yeah.
um so like going to therapy, my therapist would like tell me about like the healing work that could be done by digging deep into like your childhood wounds and looking at how they make you who you are today. And when you're reacting, it comes from typically those traps of, and she wasn't too into the energetic behind it, but she was open when I was sharing how I made the connections with the psychological and the energetic.
Mm.
And so, because of the deep inner child work that she was helping me do, it propelled me into
Mm-hmm.
spirituality. And she was one of the first therapists
Mm-hmm.
that I met that was like, oh, you can use tarot, like you get into like oracle cards and stuff, and it'll help you get more acquainted with your inner voice. If you can't journal,
Mm.
if you don't have the patience for or like me, I really struggle with routines, and I struggle with like keeping up on consistency with journaling, so
Me
it's not a
too.
good thing for me.
Yeah.
Because then I just beat myself up that I don't journal every day. Journal when I feel
Yeah.
right, but I can't do it every day. So she's like, well, if
Mm-hmm.
you like working with the cards and you be doing it every day, then use that. It works for you. And
Yeah.
yeah, ever since I did, and then that really, working through the cards really strengthened my intuition. And now, like, I just have, like you were saying, just now I can just channel things while I'm just walking around outside and talking to
Yeah.
somebody who I barely know. And like, I'm downloading all this stuff that's specifically for them to know and like about them. And I don't even know them that well.
I just had that experience actually. It was just such a random, like, I saw it was somebody on YouTube actually, and I don't know her at all. I don't, I don't think she posts anything really personal or anything. And there was this one photo, and I had such a deep feeling like I needed to communicate. It turns out it was all these synchronicities, the day of the Mayan day of the sun or something. It was just crazy. I was like floored, and I was like, wow. I didn't even know why I was communicating with this person, but literally spirit led me like all the ways. And she was
Yeah.
like, thank you so much. I can't even believe this happened from a stranger. And it was just such a like it was such a like a soul recognition,
Mm,
from people who don't even know each other. I don't even know where she lives. It's just but it was like literally like spirit came to deliver a message, and I was the vessel, and that's all I was.
mhm.
So
That's so deep.
yeah.
Well, yeah, I will say that that is to kind of wrap this up and bring it back
Mhm.
together. That is why I wanted to have you on here as my next guest, because like I definitely like I've hired you to do work. I've been part of workshops that you've done.
Mhm.
And there was obviously, like I said, it more than just like a student and teacher and a healer and like, you know, a recipient of healing. It's like there's like a
Mhm.
peer-to-peer recognition. And then we
Yeah.
have such synchronistic things that we've shared. And I am just like, you know, impressed with myself that you said you learned anything from me, because I always considered me learning from you, and that's why I was like, oh, I gotta have her
Oh
on here because
no, I learned from everyone.
I know, I was like, she's gonna teach me something, and somebody else is gonna watch this channel and be inspired by us sharing this. But I hope that's still the case regardless.
Yeah. No,
And
I think we both learned stuff. It
yes,
was it was good.
this has been really
I'm so grateful.
I know. This is like the whole point of this is not like I don't want to have a very like the whole point of this series that I'm doing is just like I said, spirit really compelled me to share these little nuggets of wisdom and stuff that I resonate with and that have helped me.
Mm.
And there's so much in there that like, you know, and it's all happening all at the same time and synchronistic and like the alignments and stuff that it's only in conscious co-creation with another person that I can really like tune into this stuff. Like I'm not at that point yet where I could just get on a live and like talk like for a couple hours, but I am inspired by you when you do that. And that was
Mm.
like part of me wanting to have you on here
Oh,
is because I
thank
deeply resonate with
you.
that. And I want my followers and everybody to subscribe to this channel to go check Karla's page out
Thank you.
on yeah on her Instagram. She's always sharing like the best content, and yes, she does get on live, and the things that she shares are really profound. So follow her over there. It's what is it, Rebel for the Light on
Yes, Rebel
Instagram.
for the Light.
Yep.
I'm just mostly on Instagram now. I
Mhm.
fell off of Facebook.
Yeah, so go check out what she's sharing. I think it'll really help you guys. And again, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, please make sure that you subscribe on the channel so you'll get the notification when I post new content. And if you're interested, I am, you know, available for guidance and sessions. Just reach out to me. And I just want to say thank you again to Karla for being on the channel.
Thank you. Thank you.
This
Thank
has
you
been great.
guys for watching.
All right, we'll see you on the next
Bye.
one.